This was wilderness once. The old fortress built by the Afghans had become the haunt of the flying fox and the owl. At night,
You willed it so, and I remain here so long as you choose to honor me with your confidence. We are a free and sovereign people today, and we have rid ourselves of the burden of the past. We look at the world with clear and friendly eyes, and at the future with faith and confidence.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड़ उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्छल जलधि तरंगा तब शुभ नामे जागे तब शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तब जय गाथा जन गण मंगल दायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे
The Agra fort is built on the banks of the Yamuna. The battlements of it are like the hillocks. No calamity has ever befallen its fortification, nor has deceitful time dealt treacherously with it. So wrote the Ghaznavite poet Khwaja Masood about the Agra fort in the 11th century. The fort was won by Emperor Akbar in 1558. He made it his strategic stronghold. Since then, it held its position center stage in the dynamic historical saga of the Mughal dynasty. Emperor Akbar ordered the reconstruction of this fort in 1565. According to his court historian Abul Fazl, the citadel was to be stable, like the foundations of the dominion of the sublime family, and permanent, like the pillars of its fortunes. Agra occupied a central position in the plains of northern India. The fort was provided with 4 gates, whereby the doors of the dominion were opened towards the 4 quarters of the world. The first of these gates to be completed in 1568 was the monumental Delhi Gate. Linked to the mainland by a drawbridge, it was the most ingeniously planned gateway. Towering bastions protecting the fort gave the defendants the strategic advantage against the besiegers. A carefully devised entrance provided with sharp curves, a steep pathway, and high battlements made the fort impregnable. The inner entrance, called the Hathia-por, was not only invincible, but also aesthetically pleasing, with marble inlay patterns adorning it. Abul Fazl wrote, "From the foundations to the battlements, the fortress was composed of hewn stone, each of which was polished like the world-revealing mirror, and was ruddy as the cheek of fortune." The Amar Singh Gate was so named because Rao Amar Singh, who assassinated a minister of Shah Jahan's court, was caught and killed while attempting to escape from this gate. It too had a complex entrance, which is beautifully decorated. There are 3 gateways which lead to a steep ramp. It was used mainly as a private entrance by the residents of the fort. The massive red sandstone walls of the fort stand 70 feet in height, with double ramparts and broad circular bastions. Numerous turrets and battlements were conceived to make this most impenetrable fort of the times. The entire fort is surrounded by two deep moats. The inner dry moat, 30 feet wide, was built during Akbar's reign. It was extended to include another wet moat built under the orders of Aurangzeb. The only access to the river was through the Khaziri Gate, also known as the Water Gate. It was here that the Maratha warrior Shivaji was imprisoned by Aurangzeb. Using his ingenuity, he escaped hidden inside a basket of sweetmeats through the Delhi Gate. Stretching 1.5 miles in circumference, the fort was completed in 8 years under the faithful superintendence of Qasim Khan. Akbar favored the southeastern side of the fort for his palaces. This presented a pleasing view overlooking the river. The emperor's palace, called the Bengali Mahal, was built along the eastern wall and is the oldest standing construction in the fort today. Its ruined walls are a mute testimony to the glorious era ushered in by Akbar. The flat-roofed buildings of the palace were made entirely of red sandstone. Adjoining it is the palace occupied by the heir apparent Prince Jahangir. Built of red sandstone and inlaid with marble, it is embellished with extremely graceful carving. The outer walls of the palace are similarly inlaid with elephant motifs. An ornamental garden is laid in front of its entrance, in the Mughal tradition of the Chahar Bagh. With the death of Akbar in 1605, Jahangir ascended the throne at Agra and ruled along with his Persian queen, Noor Jahan. Within the palace complex, spacious and profusely carved halls open into a large central courtyard. The assembly hall is exquisitely designed in the Gujarati tradition. Serpentine struts emerging out of elephants' mouths are reminiscent of the Hindu Makaras. Birds, like the parrot and the hamsa, are carved perched in the struts and brackets supporting the roofs of this complex. Another hall, built on the opposite side of the courtyard, has a unique design of cooling the interiors. Cool air was blown into the chamber through perforated screens, which ran around 3 sides. This grand hall still reflects some of the glory of the past. Its painted surfaces and azure walls, with the swastika motif, speaks of the artistic genius which guided the construction of the fort. Some beautiful remnants of the original gilded paintings still remain. The walls of the courtyard beyond are richly carved, imbuing every aspect of the palace complex with a sense of beauty. The buildings of the fort are built entirely of red sandstone, intricately carved with Hindu decorative motifs. They reflect the secular mind of Akbar, who created a unique architectural style. He replaced the vaulted and arched ceilings of Islamic inspiration with the horizontal style of construction of the Hindus. The ornamentation, too, echoes Hindu forms.
Fatehpur Sikri is a town in the Agra district of Uttar Pradesh, India. The city itself was founded as the capital of Mughal Empire in 1571 by Emperor Akbar, serving this role from 1571 to 1585, when Akbar abandoned it due to a campaign in Punjab and was later completely abandoned in 1610. The name of the city derives from the village called Sikri, which occupied the spot before. An archaeological survey of India excavation from 1999-2000 indicated that there was a habitation, temples and commercial centers here before Akbar built his capital. It was also a much-loved place of Babur, who called it Shukri for its lake of water needed for his armies. He used it for relaxation and also defeated Rana Sanga on its outskirts. The Khanqa of Sheikh Salim existed earlier at this place. Akbar's son Jahangir was born at the village of Sikri in 1569, and that year Akbar began construction of a religious compound to commemorate the sheikh who had predicted the birth. After Jahangir's second birthday, he began the construction of a walled city and imperial palace here. The city came to be known as Fatehpur Sikri, the City of Victory, after Akbar's victorious Gujarat campaign in 1573. After occupying Agra in 1803, the English established an administrative centre here, and it remained so until 1850. In 1815, the Marquess of Hastings ordered repairment of monuments at Sikri.
Hello friends, I am Satya Prakash. So today I am going to give you the information about the Navaratnas of Akbar's court. So the first one is Abul Fazl. Abul Fazl's real name was Sheikh Abu al-Fazl ibn Mubarak. He is also known as Abul Fazl, Abul Fadl and Abul Fadl Alami. He was the author of Akbarnama and Ain-e-Akbari. He also translated the Bible into Persian language. The next one is Faizi. Faizi real name was Sheikh Abul Faiz ibn Mubarak. He was one of the Navaratnas of Akbar and was given the status of court poet by Akbar. Court poet in Urdu language means Malik Ush-Shuara. He translated Leelavati. Leelavati was a Sanskrit work in Max by Bhaskaracharya. He translated this Leelavati into Persian language. The next one is Tansen. Tansen's birth name was Ram Tanu, and the name Tansen was given to him by Akbar. He was a disciple of Swami Haridas in starting, and later on he learned music from Hazrat Muhammad Ghaus. He was a musician in Akbar's court and is remembered for his epic Drupad compositions, creating several new ragas as well as for writing two classical music books, that is Sri Ganesh Stotra and Sangeeta Sara. The next one is Birbal. Birbal is very important in the Navaratnas. Birbal played the role of court jester in the court of Akbar. His real name was Mahesh Das and the name Raja Birbal was given to him by Akbar. As we all know, Tenali Ramakrishna in Sri Krishna Devaraya's court, this Birbal holds the same position as of Tenali Ramakrishna but in Akbar's court. He was a great singer and poet in the Mughal court of Akbar. He was a master in Sanskrit, Persian and Hindi languages. The next one is Raja Todarmal. Raja Todarmal was the finance minister of the Mughal Empire during Akbar's reign and was one of the Navaratnas in Akbar's court. He introduced standard weights and measures, a land survey and settlement system, revenue district and officers. This system of maintenance by Patwari is still used in Indian subcontinent, which was improved by British and Government of India. So Raja Todarmal was very great. He is inspiration to today's finance system of India. The next one is Raja Man Singh. Raja Man Singh was the Raja of Amber and was one of the famous Navaratnas of royal court of Akbar. He was a great general in Akbar's army and was the grandson of Akbar's father-in-law Bharmal. He fought many battles, including the historic battle of Haldi Ghati against Maharana Pratap. He was a great warrior during the reign of Akbar. The next one is Abdul Rahim Khan Khana, or popularly known as Rahim. He was the son of Bairam Khan. Bairam Khan was Akbar's trusted guardian and mentor. He is known for his Urdu couplets and his books on astrology. His Urdu couplets are popularly known all over the world as Rahim Ke Dohe. He translated Babar's memoirs, Babarnama, from Chagatai language to Persian language. He has written many books on astrology. The next one is Fakir Aziuddin. Fakir Aziuddin is a great physicist at the time of Akbar. And the last, ninth one of Akbar's court was Mullah Do Piazza. Mullah Do Piazza acted as an advisor to Akbar.
The tomb of Salim Kisti is located within the Friday Mosque complex, which is located at the southern end of the Fatehpur Sikri Palace complex. It occupies a prominent position within the mosque courtyard, with the Buland Darwaza facing its main entrance. The original sepulchre was built by Akbar between 1571 and 1580 to honor the Sufi saint Salim Kisti. Legend has it that Akbar, who lacked an heir, sought assistance from Salim Kisti. The son then born to Akbar was named Salim after the saint and later became known as Jenakgir. The tomb is a white marble structure raised on a plinth. Its ornamentation and construction are largely inspired by Gujarati tomb architecture and include Hindu, Jain and Islamic elements. The Padma or lotus motif is found in the spandrels of the arches, and chakra motifs are found on the struts, along with more traditional Islamic motifs and Arabic inscriptions. The tomb of Saint Salim Kisti continues to be an important pilgrimage destination for Hindus and Muslims alike, particularly for would-be mothers. And more imposing gateway is on the southern side of the courtyard, known as the Buland Darwaza, or Lofty Gate. It may have been created to commemorate Akbar's victory in Gujarat, or in the Deccan. A multi-storied, semi-octagonal structure, it measures about 40 meters east-west and 20 meters north-south, and contains large rooms, passages and stairways. Like the rest of the mosque, the gateway contains Hindu architectural elements. However, its simple ogee arch is in the style of early Mughal architecture, reminiscent of Humayun's tomb in Delhi, which was created either by Akbar or his mother. The Buland Darwaza is clad in red and yellow sandstone, while the rest of the mosque complex is clad predominantly in red sandstone. The exterior elevation of the Buland Darwaza rises to a height of 40 meters above the level of the mosque's court. The gate is accessed from the outside via a flight of three-sided, cascading steps, rising 12 meters from the level of the road.
आगरा की यात्रा आपको शानदार ऐतिहासिक स्मारकों, किलों से लेकर मकबरों और कई अन्य संरचनाओं को देखने का मौका देती हैं।